you give your attendance in the chat if possible. See, yesterday we have studied about the quantum numbers and how we can calculate the quantum numbers. So we know that we have four quantum numbers: n principal quantum number, L azimuthal quantum number, and ml magnetic momentum quantum number. And today we are going to study about ms, which is known as the spin quantum number. But then how do we calculate the value for all this? So first we should look at the, let us look into the shell wise. So when you have n is equal to 1, it is a K shell. So L ranges from 0 to n minus 1, that is L ranges from 0 to 0. Therefore L is equal to 0. And if L is equal to 0, ML is also equal to 0, because ML ranges from minus L to plus L. So minus 0 to plus 0 will give us the 0. And if we have L is equal to 0, it represents the s orbital. And if we have principal quantum number 1, then we will write it 1s for this. And in each orbital, we can fill maximum 2 electrons. So this is how in 1s orbital 2 electrons can be filled. Same way, if you look at the n is equal to 2 shell, n is equal to 2, we have L shell. So L ranges from 0 to 1, because L is ranges from 0 to n minus 1. So L ranges from 0 to 1. Therefore, L is equal to 0 and L is equal to 1. That represents the 2s as well as 2p. In 2s, we can fill maximum 2 electron, whereas in 2p, we have 2px, 2py and 2pz. So we can fill maximum 8 electron, and this is how 8 plus 2, that is equal to 10 electron that we can fill into the L shell. Now the same way, if you look at the n is equal to 3, we have L ranges from 0 to 2. So 0 to 2 means L is equal to 0, L is equal to 1, L is equal to 2. L is equal to 0 is S shell, L is equal to 1 is P shell, L is equal to 2 is D shell. So when we have L is equal to 0 S, in S we can fill maximum 2 electron. So we will have 3s and we can fill 2 electron in 3s. When L is equal to 1, we have 3p, that is 3px, 3p by 3pz. So total 8 electrons in 3p. And then when L is equal to 2, we have 3d. So we have 3d xy, 3d yz, 3d z square, 3d zx, and 3d x square minus y square. So total 10 electrons into it. So ultimately, we have 3s, 3p and 3d. So we have in 3s 2, 3p 8 and 3d 10, total 20 electrons that we can fill into the M shell. Now we have n is equal to 4, so it is an n shell. So when n is equal to 4, L ranges from 0 to 3, because L ranges from minus 0 to n minus 1. So here we can have the value for L is equal to 0, that is 4s, maximum 2 electron can be filled. When L is equal to 2, we have 4p, where we can fill maximum 8 electrons. When L is equal to 3, we have 4d, and in 4d we can fill maximum 10 electrons. And when L is equal to 3, we have 4f, and in 4f we have the 7 subshells, so total 14 electron we can fill. And this is how total number of electrons that can be filled into n shell would be 4s plus 4p plus 4d plus 4f, that is 4s2, 4p8, 4d10 and 4f14. Total 34 electrons we can fill into the n shell. Same way we can calculate for n is equal to 5, n is equal to 6 and n is equal to 7. We have even seen, my dear students, yesterday that some orbitals are not possible. Which are these orbitals which are not possible? The not possible orbitals are 1p, 1d, 1f, 2d, 2f, 3f and all this. See, now when we look at this orbital, we can come to know about the principal quantum number, that is n and l. So when you have 1s, my dear students, when you have 1s, you can easily understand about the principal quantum number n is equal to 1 and principal quantum number n is equal to 1 and L is equal to 1. So you can see that when you have L is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, L is going to be 0. So when you have L is equal to 0, you cannot have p orbitals, only s orbital is possible. And that is why 1p is not possible. Same way when you go for 1d, actually you need L is equal to 2. But here the value for L is only 0. And that is why 1d is not possible. When you go for 1f, you need the value for L is equal to 3, but here the value for L is only 0, and as the value for L is only 0, you cannot have this 1f. Same way if you look at 2d, so your n is equal to 2, so L can have value 0 to 2 minus 1, that means L can have value 0, L can have value 1. But for D, the value of L should be 3, and that is why 2D is not possible. Same way when we look at 2F, we need the value for L is equal to 3. But here the value for L is either 0 or 1. So 2F is not possible. Same way when we look at 3F, the principal quantum number N is equal to 3. When principal quantum number N is equal to 3, you can easily understand that the value of all L may ranges from 0 to N minus 1. That means the value of L ranges from 0 to 2. But for F, we need L is equal to 3, and that is why here 3F is also not possible. So this is how we can understand some of the not possible orbitals. And then we have seen that how the electrons can be set or how the orbitals are available. So in the K shell we have only 1s, in L shell we have 2p and 2s, in M shell we have 3s, 3p and 3d, in N shell we have 4f, 4d, 4p, 4s, in N is equal to 5 shell, that is O shell, we have, please remember that I have made a correction here, that it should be 5p, not 4p. So it is 5s, 5p, 5p and 5f, and in N is equal to 6 we have, and in N is equal to 6 we have 6p, 6s, 6p, 6d. I have tried to write this orbitals in such a way that we can, I have arranged them in such a way that you can even understand their energies. So the energy of 4d is between the energy of 5s and 4p. The energy of 5d and 4f is between 6s and cp. That is what it is going to be helpful in future to understand some of the concepts. Now we are going to study about the spin quantum number, my dear students. So this was the revision. Now we are going to start the next part which we have not studied. Spin quantum number is written as ms. This quantum number is not obtained by the solution of Schrodinger's equation, my dear students. So all the other quantum numbers are obtained by the solution of the Schrodinger's equation, but spin quantum number is not obtained by the solution of the Schrodinger's equation. In an orbital, maximum 2 electrons can be filled. This is what we are aware, that in an orbital we can fill maximum 2 electrons. Both the electrons are filled with opposite spin. So if one electron is filled with the anti-clockwise spin, then the other electron must be filled with the clockwise spin. Sorry, dear students. So it is very clear now to us that when an orbital is there, in orbital we can fill maximum 2 electrons. Each electron is filled with the opposite spin. So if we fill one electron in the clockwise spin, then the other electron must have the anti-clockwise spin. And thus the spin quantum number has two values, plus 1 by 2 and minus 1 by 2. If we give plus 1 by 2 the clockwise spin, then minus 1 by 2 is the for anti-clockwise spin, or vice versa. So if you give minus 1 by 2 the clockwise, then plus 1 by 2 has to be given to the anti-clockwise spin. Thus, if we have clockwise spin, we represent it as a spin up, and you can see with the green color, I have shown you the arrow spin up, and for that electron, this is how we can represent the electron with the arrow, and for that we will write the spin plus 1 by 2. Same way for anti-clockwise, we write it spin down, and for that we have minus 1 by 2 and vice versa. So if you write minus 1 by 2 for spin up, then plus 1 by 2 you will have to write for spin down. This is how we understand. So now let us remember a few important points. Remember, my dear students, that when L is equal to 0 to n minus 1 and ML is equal to minus L to plus L, ms is equal to plus 1 by 2 or minus 1 by 2. N always have non-zero integer values. So L will always have the values which are non-integer values. Energy of an subshell or orbital is given by the formula N plus L. This is the new things that today we need to understand, that the energy of subshell or energy of an orbital is calculated using its principal quantum number and azimuthal quantum number. Energy of an orbital is always the sum of the principal quantum number as well as the azimuthal quantum number. So this is how we can calculate the energy for all subshell or for all orbitals. If the energy of a subshell is given by, if the energy of the subshell is given by formula N plus L, for S, L is equal to 0, for P, L is equal to 1, for D, L is equal to 2, and for F, L is equal to 3. So we can move ahead, my dear students, that the digit put before SPDF represents its principal quantum number N. So if you write 1s, then the principal quantum number is 1. If you write 5p, then the principal quantum number is 5. Arrange the subshell given below in the increasing order of energy. So I have written 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, 6s, 6p, 6d, 7s, 7p, and 8s. These are all the orbitals that I have. So I have written all these orbitals here, my dear students. So first I have written the subshell, then the digit before the shell I have written, then I have written the value for n, then I have written the value for L, and then I have made the sum for all of them. So you can see here that for 1s, n is equal to 1 and L is equal to 0, so n plus L is equal to 1. So for 2s, we can understand 2. For 2p, L is equal to 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. For 3s, 3 plus 0 is equal to 3. For 3p, 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. For 3d, 2 plus 5 is equal 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Please remember, my dear students, that whenever there is a s orbital, I have put the value of L as a 0, and that is what it is written with the black pen. Whenever you have a p orbital, the value of L is written as 1, and that is what it is written with the blue pen. Whenever you have d orbital, the value of L is written with the red pen, that is 2. And whenever you have f orbital, the value of L is written 3, and that is written with the green pen, so that you can easily understand the concept. So please remember that the value of value of L for S is 0, value of L for P is 1, value of L for D is 2, and value of L for F is 3, my dear students, and that is how we can calculate the energy. So we have been calculating, see, for 3D we have 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. For 4s we have 4 plus 0 is equal to 4. For 4p we have 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. For 4d we have 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. Same way we can understand for all. For 4f we have 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. For 5s we have 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. For 5p we have 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. For 5d we have 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. For 5f we have 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. For 6s we have 6 plus 0 is equal to 6. For 6p we have 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. For 6d we have 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. For 7s we have 7 plus 0 is equal to 7. For 7p we have 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. For 8s we have 8 plus 0 is equal to 8. So my dear students, if you really look at the value of n plus L value, and then we really look at the various subshells, we find that when L plus L is equal to 1, we have 1s. When L plus L is equal to 2, we have 2s. When L plus L is equal to 3, we have 2p and 3s. When L plus L is equal to 4, we have 3p and 4s. When L plus L is equal to 5, we have 3d, 4p, 5s. When L plus L is equal to 6, we have 4d, 5p, 6s. When L plus L value is 7, we have 4f, 5d, 6p, 7s. When L plus value is equal to s, we have 5s, 6d, 7p, and 8s. So according to this, we can arrange them in the increasing order of their value. My dear students, we are going to apply one more rule here, that if the quantum number is higher, like more is the quantum number, we will consider the energy of that orbital higher if the value of n plus L is same. For example, when you have n plus L is equal to 5, we have 3d, 4p, and 5s. But we will consider that the energy value of 3d is less than the energy value of 4p, and energy value of 4p would be less than the energy value of 5s, because higher is the principal quantum number, more would be the energy. So this is how I have written it, as 3p is less than 4p is less than 5s, and ultimately we can arrange all these orbitals in the increasing order of their energy from the value of n plus n. It is written as 1s 2s 2p, 3s 3p, 4s 3d 4p, 5s 4d 5p, 6s 4f 5d 6p, 7s 5f 6d 7p, and 8s. My dear students, I would suggest you to learn this order, and it is very easy to learn. See, you can learn it this way. First you should learn 1s, then learn for 2s 2p, then go for 3s 3p, then go for 4s 3d 4p, then go for 5s 4d 5p, then go for 6s 4f 5d 6p, and then go for 7f 5f 6d 7p, and the last one is 8s. If you learn it, it is going to be very useful in future for you, my dear students. Now let us look at the another table. In this table, we have tried to study about the value of L, then we have written the subshell, and then the number of orbitals possible for them. So when the value of L is equal to 0, we have as subshell, and number of orbitals is equal to 1. When we have L is equal to 1, we have subshell P, and the number of orbitals are Px, Py, Pz. When you have L is equal to 2, we have subshell D, and the number of orbitals are 5. They are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. Same way, my dear students, if you look at n is equal to 3, then the total subshell, then the subshell is f, and the value is 7. When you have the L is equal to 4, the subshell is G, and the value is 9. When you have the value of L is equal to 5, the subshell is H, and the number of orbital is 11. Please, my dear students, I have not written it here, but please make it in your mind that you can find out the number of suborbitals. You can find out the number of suborbitals, you can find out the number of orbitals by using the formula 2L plus 1. Remember, you can find out the formula by using the, you can find out the number of orbital by using the formula 2L plus 1. So, you know, 2 into 0. हाँ मैडम जी.
हेलो मुकुंद सर, आपकी क्लास चल रही है क्या?
जी.
अच्छा, क्लास जैसे खत्म होती है उसके बाद नेक्स्ट स्टार्ट होने से पहले 2 मिनट का टाइम ऑफिस में दीजिए, जरा आपकी लैब एक्टिविटीज के विषय का विवरण लिखवाना है.
जी धन्यवाद.
अंकित के पास आइएगा. हाँ.
So this is how we can understand that, you know, we have the value of number of orbitals. We can write it as a 2L plus 1. So when it comes to this way, you know, this 2L plus 1 goes like 2 into 0 plus 1, that is 1. 2 into 1 plus 1. 2 into 1 plus 1, that is 3. 2 into 2 plus 1, that is 5. 2 into 3 plus 1, that is 7. 2 into 4 plus 1, that is 9. 2 into 5 plus 1, that is 11. So the number of orbitals can be found by the value 2L plus 1. Now we should study about the shape of atomic orbitals. So let us look at the shape of the atomic orbitals. We have S, which is having the spherical shape, and order of size for S orbital is always 1s. You know, 1s is smaller than 2s, 2s is smaller than 3s, 3s is smaller than 4s, 4s is smaller than 5s, 5s is smaller than 6s, 6s is smaller than 7s, 7s is smaller than 8s. So this is how the orbitals have been arranged in the increasing order of their size. As the principal quantum number increases, the orbitals have been increasing. As the distance from the nucleus increases, volume and size increases. So this is how we can arrange them into the increasing order of their sizes. Now we can move to the P. P has a dumbbell shape. So we can have the various orbitals, like if we have Pz, then Pz is presented into the on the z-axis. You can see here I have shown you the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So Pz stays on the z-axis. Same way, my dear students, we can understand about the other orbitals. Suppose you have Px, so Px stays on the x-axis, and here you can see in the 2-dimension as well as in the 3-dimension how x-axis, y-axis and z-axis present, and how this Px can be represented on the z-axis. Same way, if you have the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, you can see here in 2 dimension and 3 dimension how we can understand the orbital py for us. So this is how we can understand the various shapes and shapes into the 2 dimension as well as in the 3 dimension for p orbitals. Then we have the next one, which is known as the d orbital. D orbital have the double dumbbell shape. So you can see here I have shown you the dxy orbital. When you have the dxy orbital, it goes on the x-axis, or it goes into the plane which is made by x-axis and y-axis. So with the green color you can see I have made a plane of xy plane, and in this xy plane you can see this dxy orbital is present in this manner. Same way you can look at the dyz orbital, which is present into the yz plane, and this yz orbital is expressed in the green color. Then you can see that you have the next orbital, which is known as the dxz orbital. This dxz orbital is present into the xz plane, and this is how with the black color I have expressed you the dxz orbital. Same way we can understand. So you might have understood that dxy, dyz and dzx orbital, they are present between the space of axis. Now we are going to understand about dz square and dx square minus y square orbitals. These orbitals are present on the axis. So you can see here, my dear students, that in the 3 dimension, I have shown you the z axis along with the x-axis and y-axis, and on this z-axis you can see that the z square orbital is present, and that is what it is represented with the green color. You can see this figure also where the dz square orbital is represented into the 2 dimension. Same way, my dear students, we can move to the next one and understand dx square minus y square. We know that dx square minus y square is the orbital that is present on the axis. So you can see here I have shown you the x-axis and y-axis. This double dumbbell shape dx square minus y square orbital is present on the axis, and this is how we can understand the dx square minus y square orbital. Now remember, my dear students, that if we take dxy orbital, that is what it is shown here. You can see here on the screen that we have the dxy orbital. At the same time, we have with us the dx square minus y square orbital. Dxy orbital is present in between the space of the x and y orbital, whereas dx square minus y square orbital is present on the axis of the x and y orbital. When we give the rotation 45-degree rotation to this dxy orbital, it turns into dx square minus y square orbital, and if the dx square minus y square orbital is given the 45-degree rotation, it turns into dxy orbital. So whenever we give the value of ml to this orbital, so value ml is equal to plus or minus 2 for dx square minus y square and dxy is given for dxy and dx square minus y square orbital, because they are just obtained by the 45-degree rotation. Same way, ml is equal to plus or minus 1 for dyz and dzx orbital, and ml is equal to 0 always for the dz square orbital. Please remember the value of ml for the various d orbitals, my dear students. Now we should study a few things about the graph of psi. So we have a question that explain the plot of psi r versus r and psi square r versus r for 1s orbital and 2s orbital. So here on your screen, my dear students, we have both the graph. You can easily understand both the graph. The first graph, which is the graph of psi r versus r, and the second graph is the graph that represents the psi square r psi square r for 1s orbital. Same way for 2s orbital, we have the right side graph. So for 2s orbital, we have psi r versus r, which is given, and same way under this psi r versus r for 2s, we can see that both the graphs are present over here. So now when we study this graph, my dear students, we understand how the electron is distributed into the orbital. You can see here in case of 1s orbital, the 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 Shire value suddenly as the value of r means as the electron goes away from the nucleus, the value for psi r decreases sharply and it goes parallel to the uh, it goes parallel to the x-axis or it goes parallel to the r. But when you look at the psi square r for 1s, you can see that the same kind of graph is obtained here, and the value of electron density is very high when you have when the electron is near to the nucleus, but as we go away from the nucleus, the probability of finding electron decreases, and then again it goes to the minimum, and then it follows the parallel to the y-axis. Same way when we look at the 2s orbital, you can see that psi r is very high initially when the electron is present near the nucleus, but then it goes to a minimum, and then again going away from the nucleus, the probability of finding electron increases, and then it goes on like that. But if you look at the probability of finding electron, that is psi square r versus r, you can easily understand that the the value for psi square r is very high when the electron is present near the nucleus, but as we move away from the nucleus, the psi square r value reaches to one minimum value, then again it goes to some higher value and reaches maxima, and again the value comes down and goes very near to the zero, or it reaches the minimum value. So this is what should we understand from this graph. Note that curves for 1s and 2s are different. It may be noted that for 1s orbital, for 1s orbital, my dear students, the density is maximum at nucleus and it decreases sharply as we move away from the nucleus. On the other hand, for 2s orbital, probability density psi square r first decreases sharply up to 0 and then again start increasing. After reaching a small maxima, it decreases again and approaches 0 as the value of r increases. The region where this probability density becomes 0 are called nodal surface or nodes. So whenever you see the psi square becomes 0, that particular area is known as the node or nodal surface. For any orbital, there are two types of nodal surface. One is known as the angular node and another is known as the radial nodes. Number of angular nodes are equal to the azimuthal quantum number, and number of radial nodes are given as n minus L minus 1. So total number of nodes can be angular nodes plus radial nodes. My dear students, we know that angular nodes have the value L, radial nodes have the value n minus L. So let us put the value angular node is equal to L and radial node is equal to n minus L minus 1, and ultimately by solving this we can find out that total number of nodes is equal to n minus 1. That means total number of nodes is equal to principal quantum number minus 1. So for any orbital, now we can find out the nodes. For example, for 2s orbital, principal quantum number is 2. So the number of nodes will be 2 minus 1, that is 1. If we have the 5p orbital, then the principal quantum number is 5, and that is why the number of nodes would be 5 minus 1, that is 4. If we have the 6s orbital, then the principal quantum number is 6, and that is why the number of nodes would be 6 minus 1, that is 5. So this is how, my dear students, we can calculate the number of nodes. Question: what is the boundary surface diagram, and why do we not draw a boundary surface diagram which bounds a region in which the probability of finding electron is 100%? So my dear students, here we are going to study about the boundary surface diagram. When we study about the boundary surface diagram, we do not represent the boundary surface diagram in such a way that we can show some areas where the probability of finding electron is 100%. So what is the reason? And let us try to understand what is boundary surface area. Boundary surface diagram is representation of the shape of orbital which enclose a region or a volume in which the probability of finding the electron is very high, almost 90. So in boundary surface areas or in boundary surface diagram, we generally represent the area where the probability of finding electron is almost 90% or more. The probability density psi square has always some. Now what is the reason? Why can't we show the area which is up to 100%? So we know that the probability density psi square has always some value in the region. So probability density psi square has always some value, howsoever small it may be at finite distance from the nucleus. So if you look into the atom and if you put, like if you define a region inside the atom, then psi square always have some values. This psi square value always have a particular, this psi square value always have one particular value which is not zero. So howsoever small it may be, but the psi square will always have some value in that particular region. It is therefore not possible to draw a rigid boundary surface where the probability of finding electron is 100%. So somewhere, as it is not zero anywhere in a particular region, if electron is not zero anywhere, that means it will not be 100% present in another region of the atom, and that is why we can say that the boundary surface diagram cannot be represented for the 100% possibility of finding electron in a particular region in an atom. So this is how, my dear students, we can easily understand the uh, various concepts regarding the orbitals. Now we can study some of the important problems that can be based on the principle on the quantum numbers. So my dear students, I hope you can see problem number 2.17 on your screen. Dear students, can you see the problem number 2.17 on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's read the question. What is the total number of orbitals?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. What is the total number of orbital associated with the principal quantum number n is equal to 3? So for n is equal to 3, the possible value of L are 0, 1 and 2. Thus there is one 3s orbital, that is n is equal to 3, L is equal to 0 and Ml is equal to 0. One 3p orbital where n is equal to 3, L is equal to 1 and Ml is equal to -1, 0, +1. That is 3px, 3py and 3pz.